Hello there again, everybody. We're going to be doing some more Mana Traders matches today, and we are a combined 11 and 4 total so far. We qualified at 9 and 1, and then just finished off with 2-3 just a few moments ago. So we're just going to keep on running it back and having some fun. So for purposes of the recording, in case you haven't just gotten off the back of watching the previous one, this is what the current modern metagame is looking like. This representation is loosely based off of leagues, so it's going to be slightly different for the what am I trying to say, for the more competitive field, because we're expecting to see the people bring the decks that they're actually trying to qualify with, which would probably tend to be the better decks. So we'll keep that in mind. So we usually take this representation with a grain of salt. But since it's the Mana Traders event, we're going to take this with an even smaller grain of salt than we otherwise usually would. Ooh, there's a mosquito again. Damn it. Until next time, mosquito. Okay. Yep, so that's the metagame breakdown. Here is the list. If you want an extensive card-by-card reasoning for why this list looks as it does, you can check out the first few minutes of the previous video. It's I did like a 5 or 6 minute explanation, and it's already kind of late where I am, so I'm not trying to go super deep into it a second time when it's already kind of late. So let's just get straight into this queue. All right, so play leaderboard match. All right, so did it really end 12-12? Well, for the time zone. I mean, we'll just do a league if it's ended. Alright, league time. We're doing a league, never mind. Alright, so change of plans. Constructed. Modern league. Well, all the people who are watching this YouTube video are going to be pretty confused based on my intro and the title. Alright, John Current, join. Larger grain of salt? No, smaller grain of salt, right? Let's play a league match. Let's make sure our deck is correct. Alright, let's go. Yeah, let's go first. Darn. Second land would make this hand excellent, because we can like Thoughtseize into Wrenn and 6, but obviously we do not have that luxury, so we're going to ship. Ooh. This hand is quite similar. On the draw, I would for sure keep this. I have two things to do if I get Blood Crypt. If I spike a land, this hand becomes good. It's not super promising. I mean, if I hit a land, we've got Goyf. The thing is, we need to draw a lot of lands for this hand to be good. I'm not excited about this, but I think I'm going to keep it, with the alternative being going to 5. Then I'll just bottom one of my expensive things, assuming I brick off for some amount of time. Get the Blood Crypt, because that casts my 2 1-mana things. If I draw Blackleaf Cliffs and I can't cast Goyf, it'll be unfortunate. So I've got Dryad and Titan. Well, I guess I am going to be taking the Dryad. If I find something like a Fatal Push that can kill the Dryad, they've got so many copies of Titan in the deck. They've even already got copies of Teleria West. I'm just going to take the thing that ramps them into it and just hope to find it. No grain of salt is the thing is completely accurate. Sure. Lands? Damn. Well, maybe they think we're Shadow. Vegetable green source? Damn it. If I play Blackleaf Cliffs, it gives away that we're not on Shadow. So let's just scoop. Feels bad to not compete at all. But I mean, had I stuck a Goyf on turn 2 there, we had a good chance, but feels bad. We got a good sideboard though. Brutality can kill things like Azusa while taking Pacts. So there's a consideration for Brutality. These Renin 6s are just not going to do much of anything though. Let's cut those. They're just pretty abysmal versus combo, right? Engineer is interesting because you can kill maybe all of the plants. I'm going to shave some number of bolts. I like the pushes more than the bolts because pushes have an easier time killing Dryad. That said, I don't think I'm bringing in another push. And then I think I'm going to cut a Bloodbraid just off the top. I need to be double spelling with interactive things as opposed to just tapping out. I think I need to be interacting as much as possible, and Bloodbraid is the one card that says spend a lot of mana, probably don't interact. So yeah, the one thing I'm considering at the moment is Brutality, I think. Brutality is the one thing I could definitely see slotting in somewhere. I think I'm inclined to just not use it, though. We've got the 1 mana discard, which does pretty much the same job. Let's go first, hopefully with a keeper. Yeah, it's a keeper. I guess I will lead on Verdant Catacombs. Then I'll get, I guess, Overgrown Tomb. We need second black, and I also want to play Croxon too. It'll be awkward if they play something that I want to Lightning Bolt on turn 1, but there just isn't a lot that I would want to bolt on turn 1, right? There's also consideration to holding the bolts, holding the Verdant to enable something like a Fatal Push on a Dryad, but it's very likely we're going to want to Ashiok sooner rather than later. Alright, let's hope they don't have Obstinate Baloth. I can't get Blood Crypt here because we've already got it in play, so let's just get a dual black source. No Baloth, please. Ooh, Damping Sphere is good. Maybe it's just better that I do that. You thought I was just green-white that played Reclaimer? If I said Reclaimer, that's not what I meant to say. I meant to say Dryad. There is a green-white Titan deck, I'm aware, yes. So the decision here now is between Kroxa or Damping Sphere. I think I'm gonna lean towards Kroxa here, given that we've already got a good hate piece. Damping Sphere is gonna make our Bloodbraid Elf a little bit awkward, so if I can Bloodbraid before Damping Sphere, that would be preferred. So let's just cast our Kroxa here, and then I cross our fingers for no Baloth, right? If they've got the Baloth, it'll suck pretty hard. Oh, you said Reclaimer? Yeah. Yeah, Damping. This is one of the reasons why Damping Sphere is one of our sideboard cards. Yeah, that and stuff like Tron, and it's incidentally good versus other random gobbledygook. If they drop Amulet, we're gonna be sad. Not really, because Ashiok is gonna prevent them from doing anything super busted. Free duels. Double Amulet, jeez. Alright, well, Ashiok time. And unfortunately, Forest does not escape Kroxa. That said, I still may want to minus on myself just to feed it. I'll just pass for now. I don't see any reason to target anyone with it quite yet. Triple Amulet. Okay. So, yeah. Maybe Sphere was the right thing to do. They get to Titan me here now, right? Yep, chat was right. They don't get to search, but I do need to find a way to actually kill the Titan or my Ashiok just dies. That doesn't count. I guess I got Bloodbraid. Bloodbraid could hit Liliana or a Liliana or the Terminate. We also get to keep the Ashiok alive if I block with Bloodbraid. Let's get second red for Kroxa. We've already got double black rolled up. Yeah. Liliana, please. Into No Veil of Summer. Kolaghan's command. I guess we can kill one amulet, but it doesn't really do a whole lot. We can return Kroxa. That doesn't seem to do a whole lot either. We kind of won it in the yard. So I guess you'll discard Shatter an amulet, I guess. I could shock you. That doesn't seem very good. I mean, with so many amulets, shocking might just be better in case it comes down to a race scenario. Even hitting a creature here would have been good, because we could have maybe just traded off for this thing. Let's shatter one of these. If we find a Goyf, this could be a way to grow it. Discarded a Titan. Wow. Alright, so I'll block it for a turn so they're not tutoring for an additional turn. So this has Ashiok taking 4 and going to 1. Would love to be able to bolt this too, but not an option. We're still very live. 4th copy of Amulet. If we can find a Terminate or a if we can find a Terminate or a Liliana, we're still very much in this. So this looks like make a crap ton of mana, transmute a Teleria West. They can't search though. Got him. They said, oops. I don't think it's going to matter if I can't kill this Titan. That doesn't do it. I mean, even drawing just another bolt would have done it. I guess I can Wildfire, try to redraw it. And this, even a fetch land just to escape Kroxa would have been good. Now we're on redraw. It's kind of funny. I almost want to Wildfire the Breeding Pool, because if we Damping Sphere, this only makes colorless. Whereas like we can actually take them off of a color. But if I find something like a Tarmogoyf here, how big is it? Creature, land, instant, artifact, just 4/5. Saying Wildfire myself. That is interesting. I could hit the forest. Unfortunately, we still can't cast Kroxa in that scenario, but it does set up Kroxa for next turn, which is interesting. Kind of like it, to be honest. Just like do it off of these lands. Then we could get basic swamp. Not the intended use, but I do like it. Push. That's not good. Alright, well, I guess it's Sphere time. They're gonna not be able to search once more on the attack trigger because Ashiok will still be in play. So we still have a 1 turn worth of a good window to kill this Titan and then be drawing live. Because they don't have a lot of mana. Liliana would be really good. So there goes the Ashiok. Did a good job. Just find another one. Unfortunately, if we play this one... unfortunately, Kyle Cooper. Hey, what's up, Kyle? I'm assuming I know who you are. You're the one from South Florida, right? Since when do I stream? A few months now. Been doing pretty well for myself, too. Alright, let's Kroxa here. We could Ashiok again, but they just attack it, which does not seem good. Alright, so for Goyf reasons, they've got Artifact, Instant, Creature, and Land. So the only thing we're adding is Walker. So I guess we just keep a Walker. And I guess if we find another Kolaghan's Command, we leave Bloodbraid too. We took the Wrens out, so we don't give a crap about the lands. Yeah, like if we Ashiok, we keep them for searching for lands, but then the Ashiok just dies when they attack it. So then we Kroxa the next turn, and they just attack again, and like we've gotten nowhere, right? Things are going well. I saw that you won an event, right? At like some new store, right? Recently, like it was like a team something or other. I think I saw it on Facebook. You thought we'd look for a Terminator Liliana with what? How would I have like redrawn, I guess? Alright, so this can set up maybe another Titan. So maybe wanting to trade here after casting Ashiok. I still don't understand how that... Oh, you mean like just to try to rip it off of the top? Like immediately after? I actually just graduated, Kyle. I started a job literally... Well, I've been interning for a while, and the place I've been interning for offered me a full-time a few days ago. So I start in like a week, but I mean, I'm still interning, so... Yeah, COVID's been rough, just in terms of not being able to do anything. This is an interesting line from the opponent. This doesn't give like first strike or anything. So like they can give +2/+0, but I'm still just gonna trade. Wonder what their last card in hand can be. Sure. I will block if you will allow me to. Alright, so they can't Titan me again off of 1 card in hand and 3 mana, so that much is good. Then we can Ashiok again and hope to finally shut them off. I mean, we're still missing a threat of our own, but I mean, we have an Ashiok that we can feed ourselves more to replay Kroxa. This is like a Dryad. Dryad would be annoying because that could pressure the Ashiok. We don't have Revolt yet for the Fatal Push. Alright, they don't have it though. That's pretty big. I guess I could Inquisition first. There's no way that it matters, right? I guess if they've got like a beast within, then it could technically matter, right? If they've got a Veil, it'll be stupid. Oh, they were going to try to transmute, but forgot this doesn't make a color? That's funny. Well, now you can't transmute either. Oh, I am an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I always talk about how this is like a Nanbo with Bloodbraid, and then I just like forget every other time. Feels Batman. Well, I'll bolt that if they minus. Yeah, I feel like I always call it out and I just like immediately forget. What do they even get here? I mean, depending on what they get, we could still just be fine. I don't know what artifact that they have to get here. If they get like liquid metal coating trying to start stone raiding me, the bolt just breaks it up. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what they get here. They get worm coil. Okay, that's a thing, I guess. So still would have really liked to have Ashiok last turn because then I could be escaping the Kroxa now. But I am a doof. Liliana's a good one. In fact, it's possible that I even want to just cast this Liliana now. Was their hand is Teleria West Wormcoil? I mean, they just ditched the Wormcoil, right? They don't have double blue to transmute. Oh no, they would ditch the Teleria West. And then at least Liliana is in play to start dealing with the worms. Then I'm discarding push, and I might need push to deal with half of the worm coil. The issue now is if I just go Ashiok, if I just go Ashiok, pass, they just cast a worm coil with any land. And then I can Liliana Edict it, but then they just have the 3/3s. So yeah, now I feel like I have to Liliana plus. So yeah, I punted. For sure. I mean, I still think, like, knowing that I punted, I still think this is the best route that I've got. Is it even possible that I'm just supposed to ditch the Ashiok so I can keep the push for one of the tokens, then maybe win with the Kroxa? It might just be, to be honest. You think I can push on the same turn that I Lily? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I push the Ashiok, if I ditch the Ashiok, I can use the push. So that's what I'm saying, like, I might just ditch the Ashiok. I mean, it definitely would have been better had I just not punted, but we're here now. Yeah, this is probably a mistake, but I think I need the push to work through the stupid worm coils now. And them discarding the Teleria West means that the Ashiok becomes less important too, which I guess is small silver lining. Well, I guess they just didn't draw the land. I mean, that's a good thing too, right? What do we find? Ooh, Bone Crusher. I still think I'm probably just gonna Kroxa here. Which I guess means I'm discarding the Bone Crusher, because I am going to keep on plussing and working towards ultimate. So let's plus, ditch a Bone Crusher. Unfortunately, the Stomp doesn't kill a 3/3. Alright, and their hand's empty again. And just like that, we unpunted. Obviously, doing it the other way would have still been, like, actual just loads better. Poof. Let's not do that again. But, yeah, it didn't compute that they were discarding the last card, but it isn't gonna matter, I don't think. I'm playing fast and loose, which is not how I typically want to play. But we're doing all right for ourselves, even though I'm bad at this game. All right, 1 turn clock. Don't draw something stupid. They can Titan us here, but I don't think that actually does anything anymore. That's fine. If they get plants, we can ultimate them. And we can just put all the green sources in one pile, and they have to keep the green sources or they actually just die. Yeah, I think we're still pretty fine here. Yeah, they saw it. Liliana's good. Alright, let's not do that again. And by that, I mean being bad. Any consideration to bringing Push as another out to Dryad on the draw? Probably not. I just don't think it's good enough. And we did see Karn, right? So that makes Bolt a little better. Still not great. They saw them experiment Titan cost 7. That's true too. That is also true. Man, you would think that me playing this card means that I know what it does, but you'd be surprised. Do I want to bring in Brutality? We did see that they're playing Sakura Tribe Scout, which means that Renin 6 might get a little bit better, but it still feels pretty bad. Like, if they were on the play, having known that they played it, then maybe we bring it in, but on the draw, they get to activate it anyway. Let's just resubmit this. They had 2 green though, right? They had Breeding Pool and a basic forest. Yikes. I think this is a ship. Thoughtseize is good, but if they have Veil of Summer, this hand gets downgraded from a C to an F-. We're missing pressure and we're missing like an actual good hate piece. That's a little bit too much for my tastes. This is better. Keep this. I'm probably just bottoming the expensive thing that also non-bows with their Damping Sphere again. So I'll intend on this being Stomping Ground. We can stomp that if we get there. The other Wildfire, sure. Unfortunately, we don't have anything to do here. Jund with no 1-mana spell. What is this? Sure. If they play a bounce land, I'll get to at least hit it. I guess they probably don't play the bounce land. This is actually kind of problematic, right? Because like if I go to Wildfire or something and they play a bounce land, they could just bounce it. Which I don't want happening. So maybe I have to actually just use this turn to stomp. Like I gotta play Damping Sphere too, but there aren't actually any lands that it cares about yet. What's up, Kryda? Hope I said that right, Kryda. Glad you can make one live. So yeah, I do think I'm stomping this thing. Oh, I guess I'll upkeep it. I mean, I could do it now. There's no way that like they can't veil a red spell, right? I want them to activate this or not activate this with some information. Without the information. Thanks for the follow. Oh, you subbed. Oh, well, I thought it was a follow for a sec. I appreciate the subscription. Never necessary, but always appreciated. Alright, so I will let this resolve and then stomp. This isn't doing much better. So let's just do this here. I guess there is an actual argument to not doing this now because they could Azusa, and if they put a trigger on the stack, maybe I can break it up. You wouldn't let them activate it? I mean, there was never... They were going to be able to activate it no matter what, is the issue. Like, if I try to kill it, they just activate it in response. So I wanted them to activate it and do whatever they were gonna do without the information that I was gonna kill it. So unfortunately, our hand is missing a lot. Like, we need lands and we also need threats. We've got all the hate pieces in the world. Yeah, their hand was a little slow. Yeah, KO. Maybe the problem is you, KO, right? That's the only logical explanation. Alright, we need lands. That's a land. Alright, so they don't actually have any lands that produce multiple mana right now. So, I mean, I guess I'm just playing a 4-3. If they cast a Titan, like, there's not much that I have to say about that. So, I mean, unfortunately, I don't have a play better than just casting Titan. They Teleria Wested for a Forest, which is interesting. That could just mean they're going to hard cast Titan next turn. But, again, there's not much that I have to say about that, given my current hand. I can't even slow them down with the Sphere. Here's a 4-3. Well, I mean, we did need a land, but I mean, here comes a Titan, and they should almost definitely get. It's probably gonna be bounce land and the thing that makes a plant, right? So my Lilianas are bad. That's what they should do at least, right? I mean, if they attack, maybe we can set up. Maybe we can set up a block plus a burn spell to kill it, but by then they've gotten so much value off of it that it hardly feels like it's going to matter. Bog is a weird choice. That doesn't really do a whole lot right here. Other Bone Crusher. We're 1 damage off of killing the stupid Titan. And I kind of have to hold back so I can try to block it. So I guess I'll go Sphere, hold up Bolt with the intention of blocking and bolting. Yeah, Lily would have been excellent there, but no such luck. Oh god, we're just dead. We're just dead. Because now they get Valakut, right? They can get Valakut, deal 12, 3 at here, 9 at me, hit me for 6, that's 15, put me to 4. And then there's just no realistic way I come back. I guess I have to be somewhat worried that I have a Fatal Push. But that this like straight doesn't matter, right? Like they could still just go 12 at me, I block, I bolt their thing. Yeah, they stacked it correctly, too. Like, if I had the push, that is. The last one goes here. Oh, they actually did that wrong. No, they did it right. They did it right. Because, like, if they have the first trigger that resolves kill my thing, I'll have Revolt, I could push their Dryad, and then when these check for mountains, they won't see them. So they stacked it correctly. We're on actual 0 outs here. Time to scoop it up. Darn. 0-1. At least we're queuing quickly. Yeah, so game 2 I definitely played almost as poorly as I could have, but luckily that's the game we ended up winning anyway. Let's go first. Yee, Hearthstone hand. Do I just bottom the card I can't cast? Thing is, like, Renin 6 is going to be one of the better cards in my hand, assuming I find a fetch land in the top some number. We're pretty far from escaping a Kroxa. I guess I could just bottom that. It's definitely either Kroxa or Renin 6. I don't think I'm bottoming a land. Let's do that. It's not exciting. But I think Renin 6 is going to be one of the better things I can be doing, assuming I find the land, right? I swear, if you go like turn 1 Tron land, I'm going to flip this table. Thank God. My computer's on this table. Alright, well, Polluted Delta might be a good Dark Confidant matchup. Assuming it lives, which it might not. Just get a Hollowed Fountain. Damn it. Snare? Well, I guess that means no Fatal Push. If that doesn't sum up my luck today, I don't know what does. Oh, it's Esper. Okay. Esper is, I think, a pretty good matchup. This hand does not make it seem that way, though. There's no way that playing this Bob goes well for me, so let me just hold it for a turn where I can try to double spell. I mean, like, holding it means I'm into Cryptic command range, which also doesn't feel good, but just jamming it and getting countered is not achieving anything either. That's something. I mean, I guess I could just play it as a 4-3 right now. Yeah, let's just play it as a 4-3 right now. I think Bob worth a lot more than the Bone Crusher, so I'm more okay throwing this into whatever as opposed to throwing Bob into whatever when I have nothing to pair it with. Yeah, I don't know what's happening either, KO. This shenaniganry. They didn't have the Cryptic? What is this? It's like Flash in a 3-1? Oh, okay. Okie doke. Can't say I know what's happening, but I mean, I feel pretty behind. Like, this is a game where I'm really happy I kept Renin 6, and obviously pretty upset that I didn't find the land. Is this a Teferi? Brutal. I mean, if they don't just tuck this thing, we've got a chance. They are tucking it. Okay. Green Source would be so good here. Come on, Green Source. Untapped Green Source. Let me specify. Untapped Green Source. Boom. I want to poke my eyes out. Holy crap. Had I found the Green Source, I would have Bloodbraided there. Bloodbraid is the better thing to cast into counter spells. I could Renin 6 to ping the Teferi, but that means I get blown out by Force of Negation, and I'd rather just confirm killing the Teferi, which would mean a Bloodbraid. So while long term I would want the Renin 6 in play, it's more of a disaster if I can't kill the Teferi. Yuck. So, not this card, but the next card is Bone Crusher. Liliana's pretty poor versus an active Teferi. We have forests. Somewhere. Somewhere we have forests. Alright, we know we got Bone Crusher on top. That's not achieving anything. It's the Teferi's not even in Bone Crusher range anymore. That was pretty brutal. Alright, Ashiok. Spell Bomb. Brutality. That's probably it. We will take out the vast majority of all creature removal spells. Someone was trying to tell you that Jund is favored against Esper Control. You looked at him like he was touched in the head. I think to agree with the person that you think is crazy, I think Jund is actually a little favored, assuming you're playing stuff like Dark Confidant and Bone Crusher Giant. That said, I did not compete in that last game as an effect of not having any green mana. Yeah, seriously. My record versus Esper Control is positive. Even without Bone Crusher. Bolts don't do a lot. Just go down to 1. This seems good. Kalitas is kind of close. But I'm not super interested in the Kalitas when they're not playing a whole lot of creatures themselves. Well, the matchup looks bad when you draw like this. Sure. Bottom of land. Keep. Bottom that one. I see no real reason to hold a Spell Bomb for some number of turns, so let's just get it down. Yeah, I'm hoping to be able to prove you wrong, Chaos, but being down a card is going to make it a little harder. Okay. This is promising. Assuming it resolves. We know they're playing Spell Snare because they snared us last game. Hopefully they don't have a Snare or a Force. I'm pretty sure Forces should be coming out in the post-sideboard games. So it's Snare that I'm super worried about. I guess if they kept in Force, then Force still obviously possible. Got the Snare. Lucky. They can't be playing more than 2 of these, right? I was saying, like, being down a card is going to make it difficult, but that was maybe the thing that makes it undifficult, but then having the 1 or 2 of is going to make it difficult. Damn. Damn. I'm going to play a 4-3. Stomping Ground. The reason I'm playing the 4-3 here is because I think the Liliana is important enough to where if we draw a land next turn, we can sneak the Liliana through, and I don't want to do nothing here, so I'm going to play the 4-3 given that Stomp doesn't do anything. Yeah, I think James's assessment is along the right lines. We interact on a few different axes that Jund Shadow doesn't. Liliana and Ren and 6, like the Planeswalker route in general, makes it a little bit easier as opposed to something like Shadow, which does not play the walkers. We did hit the land. That's pretty big. So let's just lead on attack. Cool. And then I suppose we could get mana leaked. So I'll play the land first. And then if they don't have multiple counters, hopefully we get to stick the Liliana. Wow. Alright, well this is good bad news in that we didn't get to take anything, but we get to stick the Liliana. Liliana's going to be asymmetrical as early as right now. Cryptics do get worse when we've got a Liliana going. We're going to have to be careful of not being empty-handed when we plus Liliana, because then they could bounce the Liliana and force us to discard it. There are still a number of cards that I'm concerned about. But if they're just going to be passing, holding up Cryptic while we're already ahead on board, that feels like a battle that I'm ahead in. We still need to draw spells, though. If we just draw lands, we're gonna fall behind to the top of their deck. Not quite sure what they could be upkeeping, other than the Cryptic. But doing it now is strange, because then I can just replay it. Yeah, I don't know what the modes are. Tap, draw? Interesting. Ooh, we do Thoughtseize too? Cool. Well, they're definitely not discarding Cryptic commands. I mean, I guess I could plus first, but then I can't Thoughtseize. So let's just lead on the Thoughtseize. I could then also cycle the Spellbomb, because if I draw a 2-drop, that could be good for me. So it's actually kind of close here, right? Because, like, Bonecrusher is my only threat, which push kills. So I actually made a small misplay here. I guess not actually a misplay. I was going to say I should have cracked the Peatland first, because if I draw a 2-drop, then I'll have better information on what to take here. But if I draw something that costs more than 2, then I'd have to ditch it to the Liliana, so... Their Cryptic is the best card in their hand, but I think I'm actually leaning towards taking the push, because they have to deal with my Bonecrusher. Kind of crazy. But I think the push is the correct take there. They discard Watery Grave. And then let's use Spellbomb now. See if we find something that costs 2. The opponent says that they would have wanted us to take the Cryptic. I think it's really close, given that we've got the Bonecrusher in play. Like, they're behind on board. So, like, if they use their push to kill the Bonecrusher, and they draw literally anything, like a Planeswalker of their own, that's a really easy way for me to fall behind. Like, they're just going to continue tap drawing me. I guess they're doing it now as a Veil of Summer consideration. Bounce, tap, maybe? Yeah. I'm just going to replay it. Ooh, Ashiok is interesting. Have they got 2 fetches in hand? I mean, alternatively, I could just get the Liliana back down, which I think is probably just better. And then I guess I'll discard the Bolt. Ashiok is probably better long run, although Bolt does shave a whole turn off of the clock with the creature that I have in play. And this Ashiok isn't worth a whole lot. I think I'm just going to keep the Bolt, to be honest. And I'm going to tap out of red to disguise it. Just ditch the Ashiok. I could use Secret 4th mode, which is not activate Liliana. But I think working towards Ultimate to pressure multiple axes is going to be good. Yeah, and the opponent using Cryptic as they did made my Fatal Push take look even better. It was like our Bonecrusher would be dead. They drew the Jace, so you see what I mean? So, like, had I taken the Cryptic command and they killed the Bonecrusher, I could very easily fall behind to this Jace. So, high five to me. Woo. They put a card on the bottom. Okay. And they have no cards in hand. So, we can just attack the Jace and bolt it. Oh, and we drew that too. Sick. Yeah. Like, obviously, I could have sent the 7 points to the opponent's face. That puts them to 4, which means they have to deal with the Bone Crusher. But I'm so far ahead on resources doing it this way that it feels like it's harder to fall behind if they draw something like a Supreme Verdict. Because, like, if they Verdict me here, I could just essentially be dead. I would still have a Liliana threatening, but in Ultimate, it really isn't even worth that much right now, right? So yeah, had I taken the Cryptic over the Fatal Push, I think I lose this game. Still Esper. So you see Chaos? I think with the correct decision making there, even down a card and then having the Spell Snare, we pretty decisively won there. Our Inquisition even bricked, right? So we were minus 2 cards. I think I'm gonna resubmit. Jeez, what are these hands? I think this is a ship. Obviously a black source, and this would be a Snap Keep. I mean, like, this game's going long, right? Like, we've got our hand is 2 lands and 5 good spells. The issue is our lands don't cast our spells. Shock Pass. That's gotta mean, like, what, Opt? Black Source, Black Source, Black Source. Yes! Okay, that was huge. So they've got Push, Snapcaster. Buy Snapcaster. So I guess, why did they shock there? Don't know. I mean, isn't like bluffing and Opt is good. I mean, maybe they're thinking we're playing like a Hex Drinker that they wanted to push. I'm not quite sure. Alright, so I think I'm just going to Thoughtseize here. I think Thoughtseizing here is probably good, because I would like to play Bone Crusher next turn, which means that they're gonna have a good window to resolve something big if I don't do this. So like the worst case here is I'm taking a Teferi, which is pretty good for me. That is. So we got Force, Teferi, push. Let's just take Teferi. Alright, and they don't actually have Revolt for killing this Bone Crusher next turn, which is kind of funny. This is my only red source, so I'm just going to play it. Oh, they drew a fetch, sure. So they now have Force available. They can also just push my Bone Crusher now, which is not ideal, but still fine. Do I just accept that trade, or do I want to use it as a stomp at some point? Yeah, fetch is unfortunate, but I still think I'm just going to play the Bone Crusher. I think the Thoughtseize is going to be better used to sneak something through later. So yeah, I think I'm just going to cast this as a 4/3. Just let them push it, unfortunately. Like, had they had one Fatal Push, I think maybe that changes, because then I could Thoughtseize that and then actually get to stick it, but not the case. Interesting they didn't get a white source. Take 2. Got him. These are the same art, right? Yeah. So their hand is push, force, and something. Juju Jace? Well, we've got Bloodbraid. If you don't plus it, we might just hit it. Please don't plus. Damn it. They're smart. They put a card on top of my library. So my next card's got to be not great then. Their hand is force and push. I guess I'm just going to Blood Braid. We really want to find an additional source of pressure here. Because like they can push one thing, but this Jace is going to be good. So do I want to play the Peatland now or the Mire now? They know about the Mire, so that would be the reason to play the Mire. Yeah, let's just do that. We need another red source and I guess more black, so it's a Blood Crypt recipe. Say yes. Yeah, Jace was quite the rip for them. Bloodbraid's good to play into the Jace. We hit Liliana. Okay. Liliana is not great versus a brainstorming Jace. Let's for sure ditch the... I guess it's not even for sure. We're not ditching Thoughtseize, that's for sure. It's between Peatland and Spellbomb. They both equate to another card. But Spellbomb gives us some value on top of it all, so I guess that means we're going to ditch Peatland. See what they want to ditch. Probably Force. Almost definitely Force. Yeah, so their hand is Push. Alright, so this is a mini game of defeating Jace. If they brainstorm and find an answer, we could definitely fall behind. So, Jace was quite the rip, unfortunately. And had we kept the Stomp, we maybe could have stomped this. They just found the fetch immediately. Don't even want to slow roll it. They should plus again, right? So we can't bolt it. There's only one bolt in the deck, but I think we're losing to this Jace now, unfortunately. I mean, they've got to find an answer for the Liliana too. They're just fate sealing me. Yeah, I mean that makes some sense. Because like I said, like they for sure want to plus it. What did they do? They bottomed. Okay, so we've got a fresh one coming. Yeah. That's not good. I guess Spellbomb first. Cycle it. That'll be good next turn. So I could just not plus the Liliana, so that way next turn I can Thoughtseize and then Bloodbraid in an attempt to pressure the Jace. But if I don't plus the Liliana, I am not really threatening an ultimate. So I think I'm just going to plus and discard Blackleaf. Alright. I've got a little Innistrad versus Worldwake here. Unfortunately, I think Innistrad is going to fall behind. Please don't be a Teferi. Teferi almost certainly means we're dying. Opt, okay. It's not a Teferi. They bottomed with the Opt. Land. Alright, I guess we're leading on plus. Get their hand empty. We're at ultimate range next turn. They're just letting it happen. Discarded Force, sure. Would love to hit a Stomp here. Bone Crusher Giant would be an excellent hit. Kolaghan's Command, that works. So we will return Bloodbraid, Shock Jace. Nice. So now we get to kill Jace. And we've got Liliana at ultimate range to hit half of their lands. Alright, I'm feeling pretty good now. They just hit a land. Yeah. Sick! Told you, Chaos. Even with awkward mana, we did it. Alright, 1-1. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like when you look at their cards versus our cards, like we're very clearly the beatdown, but like the beatdown is an awkward role because like no one or two threats is gonna get there when they've got things like Fatal Push. But their good cards are all reactive, things like not Force Negation, things like Cryptic and Archmage's Charm. There's like things that can multi for one, right? But like when you look at our pile of cards, like all of our things multi for one as well. So I think it's just all about threat assessment. Like value the things that can generate cards, things like Bob, Liliana, Ren, and Six, while putting them on the back foot with early pressure. You know. What is this hand? I feel like every single hand that I've had this league has just been really weird. Why? I mean, I can do a lot off of my one land, so I'm gonna keep. It's the bottom, the card that I'm pretty far from escaping. Darkslick Shore, wow. Delver? What year is this? Says the Jund player. I only have one actual removal spell. So if they're really playing the Delver strategy where they've got things like Spell Snare, I should just go for the push now. They're not on a Shadow variant because they're playing Darkslick Shore, right? So let's just push now. I'll feel sad if they play something like a Young Pyromancer. Come on, land. Land would be so good here for obvious reasons. Fortunately, we're not that lucky. Yeah. Wah, wah. I mean, as long as they have no pressure, we have time to draw out of it. But we need to draw out of it. Just draw two, yeah. It's even better than countering it. We've got Snapcaster, Updrown. Bye, Snapcaster. Come on, deck. Jeez. Today has been really weird. Yeah, I figure just let it resolve so I actually lose the 2 life. Smart. My hand's all lands. We need to find lands of our own though. Okay, we hit one. Alright, so with that said, what am I doing? It's kind of funny, I still don't really want to do anything here. I guess this is as good a turn as any to just cast my Kroxa. Let's do Blood Crypt. Would love to have something like a Tarmogoyf here, but unfortunately not the case. This will at least bolt them, or probably at least. Discarding a Delta would be the guess. Alright. Maybe I also wanted to just like hold up a Stomp there. Because like if I find the land here, I may want to just play a 4-3. I think Liliana is going to be more important than Bone Crusher. Ooh, that was good. Assuming it resolves, this is going to be excellent. There are 2 unknowns in the opponent's hand. Ooh, it's stuck. Okay, I think we're ahead now. And then if I need to bolt something, we'll do it off of a stomping ground. There's still a number of things that the opponent could do that we'd be worried about. We still don't know exactly what they're doing. Delver really convolutes it. So I could go for an escape on Kroxa here. Or I could just cast the Bloodbraid. Let's do that. What you got for me? That's a good one. I'm at 9. I'll be careful. Are they really just getting like more flooded? Watch them like Shark Typhoon. It would have been really funny if they Shark Typhoon me there and just like hit me to like 3 and then I died to my own Bob. That'd have been sad. Just flip lands. Just be nice. Be kind. Dark Confidence seems excellent in this matchup. As long as I'm not like at 9. We revealed a Ren. Not bad. I guess we're just leading on attack. I guess I could lead on Inquisition pretty freely as well. Let's do it. Awkward if they've got Cryptic commands. Because like they maybe would have like tapped draw and then I'll have access to the extra card. Just double Fatal Push. They're really hoping that my Bob kills me. But we know it can't because like we have Ren and 6 as a safeguard. In fact, I almost want to just do it now. Hit for 5, put you to 7. I can cast Bone Crusher now. Just like as a 4/3, this is lethal on its own. The alternative is I get back Kroxa, but that may be what they're holding the pushes for. Like I can shoot them, put them to 6, bolt them down to 3, and then they're just dead next turn no matter what. Is there any way this bites me? I mean, it feels like it's going to be pretty hard to lose right now. Yeah, let's just not get fancy. Let's just cast this as a 4/3. I guess they could Damnation, but it's like kind of whatever. I'm not going to pay any more life for fetching, so let's just go down. Yeah, they're just really hoping that my Bob kills me somehow. Which is not going to be the case. So blue-black control with Delver? Is it just blue-black Delver? That'd be cool. So Brutality seems excellent. Don't know about the Engineer. Probably bad. They're playing Snapcaster, so Spellbomb seem good. Along similar lines, Ashiok could be okay. I don't think I'm bringing in Push. Just because like we saw only Delver and we've got 7 ways to do that at 1 mana already and a bunch of other ways to do it. I think I'm actually cutting Terminate. I mean, everything else seems great though. I think I'm going to shave a Tarmogoyf because this is more than likely a like a resource battle, and Goyf is just always a 1/1. I think while bringing in Brutality, we could probably shave on some other 1 mana discard spells, but they're so dense on counter spells, you know, like Cryptic, Force, Archmage's Charm. They're playing Delver, so probably even Remand, Drown in the Lock. The discard's probably pretty important for sneaking something through. Yeah, we did not see any mill creatures, correct? We need 3 cuts. I'm kind of wanting to actually cut a Fatal Push because along similar lines of Tarmogoyf, Push is always going to be a 1/1, and they're looking like they're kind of just a control deck with Delver in it, which means that if I draw lots of removal spells, I'm going to feel pretty silly. I don't think I want to cut any of these. I guess on the draw, there's argument to cutting Liliana, but it's pretty good versus control strategies. It's less good if they're drawing all of their Cryptics and Archmage's Charms, though, so I could definitely be talked out of playing another Liliana. I think I'm cutting another push. I'll probably keep all of the bolts. They can kill the walkers and the delvers. Maybe I just cut another Goyf. That actually doesn't sound crazy to me. Let's do that. Yeah, as a keeper. Let's just go Tomb, Spellbomb. I'm going to want to keep my life total relatively high. They don't threaten me very quickly, but I also want to maximize the effectiveness of potential Dark Confidants. That said, I value this card pretty highly in the matchup, so I don't think I'm super likely to play it on turn 2 with no protection. Oh, wow. Okay, well, maybe now I play it since they have to answer it on their turn. Was not expecting that. That's annoying. That works. Kind of gives away what we drew. But yeah, if they have to answer this on their turn, then barring Force of Negation, we may be able to sneak a Liliana through. That was a good sign though. They may just be trying to hit a land drop. They did. My Bob is living though. It's possible their interaction is Drown in the Loch. We revealed Raging Ravine. Alright, well let's just Blackleaf Cliffs Liliana. So it's actually unclear if I want to attack here, right? Because if they've got Snapcaster, they could flash it into block, and I do want this Bob to survive. I don't think the 2 damage is as important as just making sure this Bob gets to live. So let's just not attack. That said, there may be some merit to just forcing the Snapcaster out. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, like maybe I want to force the Snapcaster out, but Spellbombs mean that the ability on Snapcaster isn't going to be that good anyway. Alright, so would love to find an answer to the Witch, obviously. You found the Goyf, revealing Crypt. So this is Ward 3, so it counters unless I pay 3 life. And they make a crap ton of 1/1s. That's going to be annoying. Maybe I just cycle a Spellbomb now and trying to find an answer. That doesn't seem crazy. I do intend on playing Goyf. Goyf looks pretty weak, though, if I'm using this on their yard, which is kind of funny. I am playing Goyf, though, I think. I guess if I find a way to kill this, I'm not playing Goyf. So yeah, we'll just lead here. And if I find an answer for it, excellent. Excellent. They could have Force of Negation, which would be bad. So I'm going to be going down to 12 here. Unless I get a basic. Or I guess I could also just play Peatling. So like, this is going to... I'm going to have to pay 3 life off of this. We just have to avoid another Force of Negation. They've already used 1. And I can't imagine they kept in a whole lot of them. Yeah, let's do it off the Peatland. So I guess have you discard would be the other mode. Red, black, 1, trigger. Ooh, would I like to pay the 3 life to prevent this? Yes. Got another Force? They don't. Okay. Now I think we're in the driver's seat. And they ditched a land. Okay. So maybe their Cling on turn 2 was not digging for a land. They maybe were just digging for a removal spell, which makes sense. Ulterior motive checks out. More lands don't check out. I'm feeling like I want to get Kroxa down right now, so that way I can maybe escape it next turn. That makes some sense. So cast it like this. They've already used a cling. Counter. Sure. Could have spellbombed first to prevent that, but that seems bad when I be getting rid of all the cards that I need to escape it with. Alright, so now I can shock. Say yes. Play a Tarmogoyf. And play a Spellbomb. Spellbomb should turn off Snapcaster, Fatal Push, Drown, all that shenanigans. Yoink. I don't get to pay the black, but I mean, keeping Goyf alive is effectively drawing a card. And fetch means I get to escape Kroxa anyway. We don't attack. If they block, then escaping actually gets weird. Actually, no, it doesn't. Still be creature in the yard no matter what. So remember, I'm going to be removing all the cards from my yard to escape Kroxa. So let's do this painlessly as possible. Black, black, red. Just get another red. So if I'm getting basic mountain, that makes Wooded Foothills better to have afterwards because that gets forest. They could have a counter, which would be unfortunate, but it doesn't seem likely the way they've been playing. Then I think I'm planning on popping Peatland at my opponent's end step here. Okay. Unfortunate. Tis okay, tis okay. They're not blocking, so they should probably attack. And I can still escape Kroxa without Peatland, so it seems fine. Try to dig for some action. That kind of counts. We're a little low. That's good too. I guess lead Liliana. We could get mana leaked, but we can't get drowned quite yet. So let's just lead on it. I would like to get the Ravine down. I'm kind of low enough to the point where I kind of don't want to play the Bob anymore. We can plus and see if this actually resolves. Before making a decision though. Flusterstorm, that card can't be good versus us. Attack. If you want to attack Liliana, I am okay with that. I'll get the Ravine down, threaten lethal next turn. So I guess like spreading seas into push would be worst case now. Sure. Yeah, and an attack means that they're in desperation mode, right? Looks like they have to chump here, which means that Liliana's going to get to kill the Snapcaster, and then they have to chump everything and be empty boarded. 1 mana removal would make it really easy. Okay, yeah. Let's go first. Eee, no thanks. Weird hands today. This hand's good though. Let's bottom terminate. And then I guess Ravine on 1. We'll hope that they don't play something that makes us wish that we had held it up. But I mean, we don't actually have anything important to play on turn 2 anyway. At least not yet. Oh no, Tron. Could be Eldrazi Tron. We're not dead in the water quite yet. I'll play Foothills in case I want to stomp something. So we're hoping it's Eldrazi Tron as opposed to regular Tron. We still don't know. Either way, the opponent's got to be pretty happy they're playing what they're playing. So we've got an interesting decision now between Bone Crusher and Liliana. Unfortunately, with the opponent having Tron on 3, I don't think we're winning if they're just regular Tron. So I think if they are regular Tron, our highest win rate comes from just playing Bone Crusher. So that's what I'll do. Either way, this is not looking good. Surprise, surprise, power plant. Alright, let's see what flavor they're on. Eldrazi. Alright, well, our odds are a little bit better. Still not great. But we're live to this draw, at least. We got infinite mana, but not much better payoffs than apparently just a Matter Reshaper. So Liliana is going to be one of our only good answers to something like a Reality Smasher. So if it comes down to needing to kill this Reshaper, I think I'm going to use a Bolt. Also, Bolt is a lot worse if they eventually find something like Chalice. So I think what's going to happen here is I will Bolt this. I guess if they're going to find an extra card off of the Reshaper, I'm going to want them to discard before knowing what they're going to reveal. So assuming I'm playing out everything, which I think I am, I want a Liliana first. I mentioned this being one of my only good answers to Reality Smasher. It's less good if I'm playing it onto the board before the Reality Smasher, because then it just gets attacked. But I think it would be pretty hard to not play my spells here. Let's get this out of the way and try to attack. We have to hope that they're like mega flooded, basically. Ballista, that can be a 5/5 as early as next turn. Right, because they can get another tower and have 10 mana on turn 4. Yikes. We can bolt it to finish it if they get something like a bridge, but gonna be pretty difficult. Skyship. Yeah, that's gonna be good here. Kill the bony boy. We need a Kolaghan's Command. Kolaghan's Command is just about our only way to stay in this game. We can see how screwed we are. I guess we can hope that they can't crew their thing somehow. If they can somehow not find anything by the time that we ultimate, then maybe. But still feels pretty unlikely. The first creature just jumps in Sky Sovereign and murders us. They drew Blast Zone. Alright, well that answers Liliana too. Should I pop Nurturing Peatland to try to find action for this turn? I guess so. It'll be awkward if I find Bloodbraid and no land. But even finding multiple spells isn't great here, because we're going to have to discard down to size for the Liliana. I think I'm just going to untap. Still want to find Bloodbraid. Not great. And then Blaststone kills the Liliana just in time. So they've got Tech Edge now. I guess now I try to find a 2-drop. Now that I haven't hit it. Yep. Blaststone. I mean, there were lots of good rips that they had, Blaststone included, just because they can now neutralize the Liliana before it matters. Yeah, we still have to get very, very lucky. Again, any creature that they draw just jumps in the Skyship and murders us. For insurance, they could even get, I guess, Scavenger Grounds to make Kroxa a lot worse. They've got Tech Edge for Raging Ravine. We're going to need, like, Bloodbraid into a Goyf or something to have a fighting chance. On top of them not finding anything. Bloodbraid. Oh, yeah. Not quite. I mean, that can cycle some Peatlands at least. There's nothing on 1 mana that we can do here. So I'll just cycle this end step. Like, we could draw Inquisition, Thoughtseize, Bolt Push, but none of those do anything. Gotta assume their hand is a land. And no Tech Edge there makes sense, because they know we just eventually buy it back. Tome, that's going to be difficult. I mean, everything in their deck is going to be difficult. Creatures kill us on the spot. We need to just, like, hope they find only land, which Tome will make even more difficult. Well, that's one of the better things that they could have for us. It's still good. Alright, so we need Bloodbraids immediately. Okay, that's a start. Thoughtseize doesn't do anything. We can get back Bonecrusher and Shatter. The issue is now there's still 2 things that we can't really beat. I mean, creatures are going to be good almost no matter what. So it's just really a matter of, what do I die to first? Given that creatures are going to be good no matter what, I think I have to kill the Tome. Which I guess means I can wait until they activate it. Like, I can let this resolve and have them also discard a card, but I think getting like Bonecrusher is just going to be better. We're still hoping they draw actual nothing. Come on, there we go. Alright, so we've got Stomp up now. Any creature or planeswalker ever? That certainly counts. GG. That does it both. I guess they can't crew this immediately, but... Alright, Kalitas. Engineer. Pillage. Wildfire. And that's it. Bringing out Inquisitions. We're on the play, so I like the Bobs. The bolts are worse. Running sixes do nothing though. Yep. Run it. Yeah, sounds fine. Engineer is a little clunky. The fact that we have both is unfortunate, but we have Thoughtseize into Goyf, or sorry, Thoughtseize into Dark Confidant to hopefully ensure that it gets going. Mulligan once. They've got Blast Zone, Temple, Reshaper, Tome, Relic, All Is Dust. Not taking Relic, not taking All Is Dust. It's definitely between Tome and Reshaper. They do have an Eldrazi Temple, which makes the Reshaper even better. Tome is going to be problematic long run, but Reshaper is such a headache that I'm feeling like I'm just going to take it. If they didn't have a Temple, I think I'm taking Tome. But the fact that Reshaper contests the Dark Confidant means that I think I'm leaning towards just taking the Reshaper. More pushes, not exactly what I'm looking for. I'm going to complete my colors here, getting Stomping Ground. So far, all expected. We would love to hit a land. Thank you. Thank you. So playing Liliana here is going to have it being worse versus opposing Reality Smashers. But I think eating their hand while they're low on mana is good. There goes All Is Dust. And Liliana only gets tagged exactly here if they've got Smasher and another Temple. Hopefully next turn I get to deploy an Engineer to trade with literally anything. They bottomed with the Scry. I mean, anytime they're using this Tome for a Scry as opposed to draw a card, it feels like a mini victory. They bottomed again. Blister for 1. Alright, that kills Bob, which is pretty annoying. I think I'm keeping both Engineers. I really want Blood Braids and the like to be good draws, so I think I'm just ditching other copy of Push here. I can then play my other Swamp, play my Engineer. And then next turn, if I draw a land or something, I can play second Engineer and play my land and then have the Liliana be asymmetrical. So obviously this is going on Eldrazi. Make him a little tinier. We got only one card left. They can't hit lands and keep stuff in their hand for the Liliana. So I'm feeling ahead. And the opponent agrees. Yep, so I think Mad Reshaper was a good take there. We didn't know that they would have had a hard time hitting their lands, but it contesting the Dark Confidant, like I mentioned, meant that the Dark Confidant would be a lot worse, and Dark Confidant was the best card in our hand, so I think making the cards in our hand better is a good aspect of the discard. So we saw a Relic, but I don't think that makes us want to change anything. It makes our Glyphs and our Croxes worse. But it makes these things worse as well. Like Wrenn and 6 I still don't think does enough. Let's just resubmit. Yeah, I think this is a keeper. We've got a Thoughtseize into a Wildfire. If we can find another black source, we've got two of our better cards, which are Liliana. So hopefully we can prevent the nutty hand with our disruptive draw. Croaks are not great. We're still really looking for land. Wildfire will draw a card and help us dig towards it, hopefully. So they've got Map, Mine. They've actually got 2 Mines. So I think I'm just going to be taking a payoff here. Which would mean Karn. I don't actually have an adequate way to pressure the Karn once they play it, so that would be a further incentive to take the Karn. But I mean, if they play Wastes next turn, if they play a Mine next turn, and then I won't really have a good Wildfire target. That said, I still feel like I kind of have to take the Karn. Like the Tron is really great for them in the first 4 or 5 turns, but after that, assuming they've hit their land drops, they're just gonna be able to cast all their spells anyway. So I would love to stop the sweat and just draw the land now. And they found a Relic, which makes our Croxa worse. All right, cool, we did it. So having drawn the land now, that makes me feel less inclined to need to use the Verdant, to use the Wildfire now to dig for the land. Now I feel like I can just Croxa. I know it's going to get eaten by the Relic, but we can at least take a land out from the opponent's hand. And then we can wait until they attempt to do a simple Tron before Wildfiring. Yeah, even in the face of the adequate hate, Croxa at least still does something, which is nice. I'm not feeling behind, but I mean the opponent's average draw step is going to be better than ours in about 3 turns. They reveal Power Plant, surprise. Bone Crusher. Bone Crusher's nice. So I would love to Liliana here. So the issue with that is the opponent is going to have 5 mana on their turn, right? Because they can tap 2 things, sack the map, get the tower. They'll have 5 after playing the tower. Playing Bone Crusher is going to be better, assuming the opponent finds something like a Karn. If the opponent finds a Reality Smasher, it's better to have held the Lilianas. If the opponent finds a Thought-Knot Seer, I'll have double Liliana anyway. So I think I'm just playing Bone Crusher as a 4/3. If I Liliana plus, they'll discard probably Scavenger Grounds, given that they've already got Relic. But then I'm playing Bone Crusher next turn. I think I'm still just leaning towards Bone Crusher. Gonna get second black for Liliana, and we don't have green yet, so pretty easy. Overgrown Tomb looks like. Here's a 4/3. So we're just gonna hope that they didn't like naturally just draw the payoff. Obviously, if they want to complete the Tron, we can break it up and continue attacking. And they searched for tower last, so I'll hit tower. Did they really draw exactly Smasher? Alright, well, I think I'm playing this well then. I mean, I'm still not feeling great about it because now I have to take the turn off to Liliana, which means that they've got a window where they could draw literally anything else. So we were hoping to dodge the Smasher, but we played well to at least avoid the disaster scenario. So we get to 1-for-1 this, which is just about the only way we get to do it. We're going to attack. We don't have a good block if they find another Smasher, so just going to hope that they don't have a second ridiculous payoff. And if they don't, maybe we pull ahead, and if they do, we probably die. We know at least one of their cards isn't a ridiculous payoff. They've got to redraw towards one if they're so inclined. Hopefully their pause here doesn't mean they're deciding between two good options. Feels like it might. Maybe they're thinking about popping Relic. So this is going to get probably Stomping Ground. What is this? Ballista? For 2. That's a weird number. Do they really just have a lot of things to do? And something else to do as well. It's another Smasher? Another Ballista? Chalice for 3. Okay. Alright, well that shuts off other Liliana. But we can still cast Bloodbraid, and we still have a Bone Crusher in play. And we probably want to take them off of Tron, though, because they have a crap ton of mana to sink into this this Walking Ballista now. Well, we can still cast this for Stomp. We just can't cast it for Bone Crusher. Which means I guess we're just going to stomp this now, right? Because then they can't grow it. So I'll Wildfire first so they get... I guess it actually doesn't matter. They have to get a basic, right? Take them off of their lots of mana. So that now at least like if they Karn or something, they can't play something big in the same turn. Alright, so we'll stomp this, get it out of the way before they grow it. Yeah, they could have shot me in response. I mean, they should have. Because they just were figuring I wasn't going to kill it. I don't know. Alright, big draw step for them to miss here. Really want them to miss. I guess not, huh? Smasher would be worst case, right? Of course, there it is. They can smack me to 4, which means I'm on chump block duty. I can set up a double block with the Bloodbraid. I mean, I could also just Bloodbraid, and if I had a burn spell, I win. It's so close. Why couldn't you be one card deeper? You still might be. Setting up a double block is not what I was hoping for, especially because both of my things die. Could I just get lucky, please? A Bob? Wow. Unreal. Alright, thinking time. Alright, so... if I cast the Bob and attack with Bone Crusher, that puts the opponent down to 5. If they attack me with Bone Crusher Giant, sorry, with their 5 power thing, and I block with only Bob, I die. So I still have to double block. mean, I guess I do it though, because I could block with Bloodbraid and Bob to trade and then still be able to do some stuff. Yeah. I mean, this is assuming they brick, which I'm really hoping they do. Does it matter which I attack with? Assuming something is connecting, Bolt just kills them anyway. So it's kind of just a matter of, I guess leaving this back means I gain 1 extra life by absorbing it, going to 3 instead of 2. Which means I don't just die to a Ballista off of the top. So I think Bloodbraid is the attack here, so I don't just die to a Ballista. Please blank. They've got a lot of draws that can screw me over. This would be a real good time for you to hit a blank. They do have a redraw, but not a lot of mana. It's going to be close. About as close as you can ask for. And again, I cannot Liliana. Chalice on 3. Bob's such a weird hit. Only 1 Bob in the deck. There's 2 in the deck total. I mean, there's only 1 in the deck when I was cascading. They could also just hope I die to the Bob, which is funny. There are 3 cards in the deck that would have me dying to it. So they can now complete the Tron back up to 5 mana. Did you draw another Smasher? Holy moly. Ballista. Well, I did attack the way that I did, so I wouldn't just die to a Ballista, so at least I got rewarded for that. No attack. All right, so they're hoping that I die to my Bob. There are 3 things in the deck that do it. The other 2 Bloodbraids and the Kalitas. Drawing a burn spell would make it easy. Hiya. Oh wait, I just died because of the Ballista. I'm stupid. Yeah, I needed to not flip something that cost a lot. Brutal. Darn. Yeah, I mean, they drew hot at the end, unfortunately. There's probably something I could have done. There's probably something I could have done differently there, but I don't know what. I'd have to rewatch it. Alright, we got 1 more. I guess I can take a quick second to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Got a pretty decent crowd, which I definitely appreciate. If you're not already following, it's a great free way to support my content. Subscribing over on YouTube is also a great way to do so. And speaking of my YouTube, all of these Jund Leagues are being recorded and uploaded to my YouTube channel. So if this is the kind of thing that you like, you can find many videos already on my YouTube. Got those sub emotes rolled up, I see. Very fashionable. Let's keep. We've had so many weird hands. Like, the mana's been really awkward today. For apparently no reason, other than because screw me, right? We have stuff to do, though. Oh, no. That means either Mirror or Dredge, but more likely Dredge. Right? I guess there are some Renin 6 decks that it could be still. But I'm going to guess Dredge. Still could be Dredge. Pitching cards to Cathartic Union, I say. Can you break on a Dredge 5? No, you cannot. Yikes. That was pretty nutty. If I don't draw... Actually, if I don't draw Tarmogoyf here, I'll scoop. But I don't even have green mana. They have Bloodghasts too. Alright. Next game. Kalitas, Ashiok, Plague Engineer. On the play, I like Brutality. Nile Spellbomb. Take out a lot of the spot removal. Take out the Lilianas. Take out the Croxas. Clean 60. Data. Submit. Wow. Yeah, sure. This hand is very defensive. I'm going to need to find something like a Tarmogoyf to like actually try to pull ahead. I'm going to lead on Inquisition in case they've got a Shriekhorn that I may not be able to nab with a Spellbomb or two. They've got Lightning Axe, Narcomoeba, Thrilling. Their hand is bad. Holy crap. Why do they keep this? I guess I'll just take the Thrilling Discovery. I mean, Lightning Axe is going to be their way to kill like a Tarmogoyf or something, but they're going to be so slow if I can take their enablers that I'm just going to take their enablers. Yeah, I think they should have mulliganed this. We need to find lands, but other than that, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not going to play second Spellbomb paying 3 life. I think I'm going to just keep the 3 life. And I'll get Overgrown Tomb at end step and just hope to spike it, I guess. It being a land for the Ashiok. Interesting Blast Zone. I guess they could loop it with Light from the Loam. That is not one that I saw. Just straight casting Narcomoeba, sure. The idea behind Plague Engineer is I can name Spirit to keep the Bloodghasts down. That said, I am not going to play Plague Engineer to name that. Let's just get the Overgrown Tomb, hope to hit the land. And if I don't, I'll just bolt that thing. Alright, cool. Do we just Ashiok now? See no real reason to wait other than it gets attacked. But this is a pretty mana intensive play. So I think I'm just going to do it now. And I'm going to save as much life as possible. So let's just get basic Swamp. And then do I want to minus it now? Don't think so. They don't actually have anything good in their yard to hit. And I may want to use an activation on a later turn. And as long as it's getting pressured by even a Narcomoeba, I think I want to keep it back. Like I'll bolt the Narcomoeba now just because I'm going to be able to keep my Ashiok high, right? Expected. Alright, this is going well. We just need a threat that doesn't die to a Lightning Axe. It's a fine draw. It's not great. I mean, it kills the Narcomoeba pretty cleanly. I still might want to just get back a Bloodstained Mire so I can continue hitting land drops. Although land drops I don't think are like particularly important. They will be for hitting like the Blood Braids and Cletuses of the world. So maybe just that is reason enough. So like buy back Mountain, use the Mountain to bolt this. Still have the Swamp for the Spellbomb activation. I kind of like it. It's playing it pretty safe, but the result of playing it safe is we're just so far ahead that it feels pretty hard to lose. So, famous last words. I could also just ping this now and hit the land drops on future turns, which also seems good. I might need Bolt to steal Erase. Let's just ping this thing now. And I'm not going to activate Ashiok as long as there's nothing important to hit. And if I do want to Spellbomb, I think I want to get the card off of it, so I'm not going to play a second Spellbomb. Yeah, I think the opponent made it easier than it had to be with the hand that they kept. Their hand was just pretty abysmal. Casting a Prized Amalgam. I mean, I guess I could bolt that. And then sweep it away with Ashiok. And then again, I'm going to conserve life, so I'll get my basic Mountain here. I just have no reason to need a lot of green. The one thing I guess I'll have to think about is my opponent's ability to get Bloodghasts with haste. Because then they can maybe pressure my walkers. But this feels fine. No, I'll just mill them. I don't have like any Croakuses in my yard, in my deck to eventually find. We might just end up winning with a Renin 6 ultimate, to be honest. It's like 5 turns from now. Yeah, also, I really don't want to play the Plague Engineer for the other reason of it. Not only does it enable their Lightning Axe, but they could pitch something at instant speed, which may force my hand on a Spell Bomb, and I just don't have to force my hand on a Spell Bomb. More land's not great, especially when we've already got as many as we want. So they do have Blast Zone, huh? Popping it for 1. I guess we'll let the 1 damage resolve. More lands. Alright, well I guess we'll cycle this one too. Bloodbraid's good. It's kind of what we were looking for. Yeah, so I mean, having known about the Spellbomb from the turn 1 Inquisition, maybe it was greedy to play second Spellbomb. In fact, probably just was. Hadn't thought about it, to be honest. Drew a Cathartic Union on top of it. Yeah, this could be dangerous. And they had, I think they kept a pretty bad hand, but up until this point they've played it well. Alright, they got a Dredge 5 coming. Yikes, yeah, they hit well too. Brutal. So they get back Narcomoeba. They can cast an Ox. Continue going off. Brutal. Only one Amalgam for now, but if they want to cast the Ox, things are going to get pretty sticky. I can bolt the Ox, not that it's worth a whole lot. Jeez. Maybe I engineer for illusion anyway. They only had one Amalgam, which is lucky. Bloodghasts don't yet have haste, and we can Ashiok to sweep the rest of their board. And then bolting Ox means that Ashiok is going to sweep it as well. We're not out of it. This was a very good turn for the opponent. So this is illusion. And I'll leave it back to block. They still have this lightning axe though. Oh no, they don't, because they discarded it, right? To the first Ox. They don't have much left to work with, right? Not out of it yet. How many Creeping Chills are they playing? They play one Creeping Chill, or are they just all still in their deck? Maybe they've drawn them? No, they've been dredging. They couldn't have drawn them. Either they're not playing many, or they're somehow just all at the bottom of their deck. All of the Narcomoebas are gone. So let's just block. Short of a Bloodghast, this isn't coming back easily. Just casting him. Yep. Jeez. Alright, well, I guess I'm Blood Braiding. Just lead there, see what happens. Thoughtseize. I mean, I guess I'm going to cast it. I'm going to get to sweep whatever away with Ashiok. Just Creeping Chill. I'm going to take the chill. They can just cast that thing. And then I can't block, so let's attack. If they want to block, I can sweep it away with Ashiok. Mill them for more. Alright, they've got 5 cards left. They might just beat me down with their stupid creatures. Which is kind of funny. Bye, Ashiok. You did well. Alright, well, we can cycle that one and threaten ultimate. Wow. We have not drawn super hot. Alright, and these can no longer be dredged. They don't have enough cards in their yard. So let's just attack. Can't block. They just scoop. Yeah, okay. That was a interesting one, to say the least. Alright, we get one more though. These cards all look not great. These cards all look fine. Submit. We saw they're playing Ancient Grudge. Maybe they take that out. I mean, they know that it hits Spell Bomb. But we're not playing... I guess Cage is good against... Cage is actually good against the flashback stuff, right? Because you can't flash it back as long as Cage is in play. So we saw not a lot of Creeping Chills, not a lot of Bloodghasts. I think it was like 2 Creeping Chills, which makes sense. It is late. Boy. Against Dredge. This is looking like a mulligan. If they have exactly one enabler, Thoughtseize can be good. We've got Bob to dig for more, but Engineer is hardly our best sideboard card. I think I've got a ship. I think I'm going to mulligan aggressively at least once for something like a Spell Bomb. Well, this is better. Let's keep. No sideboard card, but discard for the payoffs and a Goyf is a good recipe to begin with. I think I'm just going to ditch my expensive thing, which would be Bloodbraid. Keep the discard in the lands that cast everything. I'll get basic Swamp on 1, cast Thoughtseize. The opponent has mulligans to at least 5. So again, if their plan is only a single payoff or enabler, like the Thrilling Discovery or Cathartic Reunion, this could be a game that I'm winning. But if they got the Shriekhorn, yeah, things could get tough. Now it's like, do I even Thoughtseize? Because if they don't have, if I'm like forced to take a Dredger, it gets really, really awkward. But it ain't getting much better. It's like the second Thoughtseize is almost for sure doing nothing. Alright, well, they did have a Thrilling Discovery, so let's hope that their Shriekhorn isn't great, basically. A chill and a reunion. Okay, that's slow-ish. I still get to do it upkeep. No dredge card, please. Loam. So dredge 3. Hitting Ox Thug. Oof. So this would be a real good turn to find a Spell Bomb. Real good turn to find a Spell Bomb. Gonna cast a loam here, I guess. No? Okay. Spell Bomb! Damn it. Alright, I guess we're casting Tarmogoyf and praying. Do they bring chills back in? Or did they just hit the 2 they kept in? So, the silver lining is that... Oh, never mind. I was going to say that they have to exile all 8 cards that aren't Ox to cast Ox, but not if they just mill themselves. They even hit a Conflagrate. I guess the Conflagrate doesn't actually matter. Ox time, leave Amalgam and Conflagrate, I guess. Forest, Llanowar Elves, your go. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate the support. It's funny. It's so late. I'm so tired. The notifications startled me. All right. So I guess on the play they decided to bring in more Creeping Chills since they really wanted to turbo me. I guess. I'm at 8 already. Jeez. This is my last window to draw Spellbomb. I guess I could still hit it, just not draw a card off of it. Yikes. I am not literally dead. Did they get rid of the Conflagrate? I guess they did. Big fan of Jund? Good to hear. Unfortunately, this match isn't a very big fan of Jund. It's looking like we're just dead. I mean, I can block this, take 5. Which is not a very winning recipe. Any land... Oh, I guess I am just dead. I forgot this coming back delayed the second one. Yeah, I'm just dead. I block, take 8. Yep. Alright, so an unsavory finish. But I mean, a 2 and 3 is still, I guess, by definition below average, but there is no average when there are 5 matches, right? It's either 2-3 or 3-2. So you're either ahead of the curve or below the curve. But yeah, this particular match, this particular league, we finished below the curve. Bonecrusher still felt very, very good though. There were lots of hands where we either were short on we either only had a single copy of a removal spell or a single copy of a threat, and in every one of those scenarios it was the Bonecrusher. So like had we had this were a removal spell and the rest of our hand was removable plus the third removal spell that was instead of Bonecrusher, we would have been lacking a threat. And then we had a few hands where we had lots of threats, including Bonecrusher, and no interaction other than the stomp on it. So it's still been very good at making sure we don't draw the wrong half of the deck. So I still think Bonecrusher has been outperforming. So still really liking the experiment, and I'm pretty confident in it at this stage. I'm still liking the split of discard to removal spells, just because again there's not a whole lot of control in combo. So in those scenarios, I tend to lean less on the discard and more on the removal. And then I feel like one of the things I was really concerned about playing Bonecrusher was I was afraid that the curve would be kind of inverted, creating a bunch of clunky draws. But to help mitigate that, I just didn't play 4th copy of Bloodbraid Elf, and I gotta say, it really has not felt clunky at all. It just felt completely fine. That said, this particular league, I had a bunch of really weird like mana situations. I think I mulliganed a bunch of one-landers, kept a bunch of hand. I think there were like 3 or 4 games this league where I got to my 4th land and just like didn't have my green yet, which was kind of weird. So I mean, all in all, just like a really weird league. I mean, the result was obviously not super great, but I think I did the best that I could with what I had. There were definitely some really close games that I'm gonna go back and reanalyze on my own time, but all in all, I still think a pretty interesting league, and I hope you all thought it was interesting as well. So with that said, I am going to call it a night and end the recording. If you're watching here on Twitch, I want to send you all a big thanks for coming out tonight. I really appreciate all of your support. It means a lot to me. If you're watching on YouTube, you as well. And if you're watching on YouTube, definitely give me that thumbs up button. So it gives the YouTube algorithm those good vibes, right? So if you're watching on YouTube, have a good one. And until next time, gem them out.